$1,000 a year. I was only 23 years old. Probably would have got a store by 24, 25. And that was my dream job. Until I woke up and realized I wanted to be an entrepreneur.
Stephen Holbrook!
What's up, guys? Welcome back to our YouTube vlog. I'm super excited about today's episode. You guys are in for a huge treat. We are hosting 500 of our teammates at Banff Springs Hotel in Alberta, and it is going to be the event of all events. We have people flying in from all over the country. There's tons of energy. There's tons of great speakers. There's tons of people. We are building leaders over the next 2 days, and you're going to be part of it. And what he talked about, he just said, the key to building it, to getting good in business, is you got to be in the business, but not of the business. So, for example, we're in the insurance business, but we're in the business of selling the dream and a better life. And then he played the old Hubert Humphrey video in front of the Art Syndicate. The Academy Award, come join us, Academy Awards, WMA, where we will crown the Muhammad Ali. Remember that one?
Yeah, I do.
He showed the video, it was a 4-minute video. And he goes, do you think, what about that screams life insurance? He goes, do you think somebody approached me and goes, hey Skippy, you want to sell life insurance? He says, no, they got me to join this business by having a better life. Selling me the dream. He says, we're in the dream selling business. He goes, that's why, he goes, you Google us. There's 10 pages on how we're a scam, and yet we still grow and nobody has what we have. He says, it's because it's the culture about, he goes, it's because the business that we are in is the dream selling business. Hey, phone tag.
I know.
You everything good?
Yeah, really good.
How you doing, bro? Good to see you, man. Welcome to the event. Yeah. It's pretty sweet, hey? I'm so glad that you feel like you're a part of this event. Man, you guys fired up? This is unbelievable to be up here. And I wanted my wife to be up here just for a couple minutes. Unfortunately, she doesn't have a mic. If you want to say something, just lean over, honey. Tonight's the night. That's my plan. The decision starts right now. When you want to make 6 figures, you're literally starting with the decision, and your habits and your behaviors will follow the standard that you set. We know that this business is not easy, because nothing worth doing is easy. And we know, as much as anybody in this room, sometimes the darkness sets in. Sometimes the fear sets in. Sometimes you're down to your last dollar before you have the breakthrough. And then the darkness comes more. And then when you think it's time for your breakthrough, it gets dark again. But I can tell you one thing. All the leaders sitting in the front row, they've all been to the darkest of darks, but every single winner in this company came back to the light. They eventually came back. They came under the mentorship. They got mentored. They worked as a team. They got aligned, and guess what happened? Their businesses started to explode. So if you're feeling a little bit off track right now, I want you to know that's okay. It's okay to be off track. It's not okay to stay off track, though. You can't think of a scenario where you leave this convention without some kind of resolve to get back on track, back to doing what you did to get that momentum to be in this meeting. Does that make sense? Say yes. Yes. Okay? I've been thinking about it every day since the day I started. I've been obsessing over it every single day on the goal before the goal happens. It's an obsession. It's an obsession. It's not when the timing's right. It's not based on how you're feeling. How you're feeling has nothing to do with where you're at in the business. Nothing. If you're waiting for all the conditions to be right and people to stop dying and the government to stop auditing you, right, and everything to be perfect to get this thing going, you're going to die on the vine here. You're going to die on the vine. Where do you want your next expansion? You got to start thinking big. If I said you could have as many Tim Hortons as you wanted, how many would you take? I hope so. But you know the reality is most people would ask for one. I just need one. I'm not money motivated. I don't need all of that. I'm just going to do one. Man, We got to think bigger. We're not waiting anymore. We're not waiting for it to happen. We're not going to wait to find the right people. We're going to get after it. And we're going to cast a vision, and we're going to find the people that are ready to go, that are ready to be a part of it. This whole business is about duplication. So I want you to ask yourself a question here as we get into this. Am I worthy of being duplicated? Am I worthy of being duplicated? See, I think one of the things that new leaders, where they have it wrong, is they're trying to duplicate, but the master copy is not worth duplicating. If you photocopy something that's not worth duplicating, that next photocopy is going to be even worse. And eventually what you get, if you photocopy, eventually what you get is a blank sheet of paper. The whole game is duplication. The whole game is you trying to find your successor. I'm constantly looking to build my front line that'll run my children's company long after I'm gone, my grandchildren's company long after I'm gone. So, here's the secret though. You only need 7 to 10 frontline leaders long-term to buy your life back. 7 to 10 big frontline leaders long-term to buy your life back. And you don't know who those people are going to be, because there's no test to measure the size of a man or woman's heart. They might come at 19 years old like Colin Burr, right? They might come in their 30s like Kelly Boudreau, former accountant, going to build a huge base shop this year with her husband Darcy. You don't know what that leader is going to look like. Just know that 7 to 10 frontline leaders is your opportunity to start to buy your life back. So how focused are you on finding those leaders, on developing those leaders? It's an important thing. There's a place for you on this leadership team. If you want to come in here and you want to make $250,000 a year and have 3 offices out east, there's a place for you here. If you want to make $150,000 and work 4 days a week, eventually 8, 10, 15 years from now, there's a place here for you. And if you want to flat out buy your life back, max it out, write the best chapters of your life, be the best example you possibly could to your kids, your grandkids, your spouse, maybe your future spouse, if that's something that intrigues you, there's definitely a place for you here on this team. Here's the thing. You're going to get exactly what you expect out of this business. So over the next day and a half, make sure you have a written outcome. Make sure that you know why you're here. Because if you leave unchanged, if you leave like you came in, that's on you. That's not on your leaders. That's on you. Handwritten outcomes is absolutely mandatory to have a breakthrough, the kind of breakthrough that you probably need coming out of this event. Does that make sense? Yes. All right. So, without further ado, I would like to welcome Mr. Jared Slides back to the stage. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you. Appreciate you, man. It was amazing. That was perfect. That was perfect message. Like, we want to bring value. We really want to move the needle this year. This is our year as a team, right? So we're very serious about developing leaders and everything we need to put in place. All right, we'll see you up there, okay?
Yeah. Thank you, brother.
Appreciate you being here, man. Congrats on being in the leadership meeting.
Thank you so much.
I love your energy. It's contagious. I'm looking forward to hanging out with you and Mike more this year.
Yes.
So, I'm thinking about you. That's all I want you to know. Okay? Just know that I'm thinking about you.
You say it, and you say it, and then all of a sudden this guy comes in. It's like boom.
Boom. I love when you say boom. I stay hungry.
I love you. I love Steve Holbrook.
It is on.
I love Steve Holbrook.
And you're on camera. Yeah, but you also got to be building a market. You got to be volunteering with places that you're passionate with, where the right people are hanging out. Like, you got to get into the right environments, and then you got to run the numbers, man.
Yeah, 100%.
And you got to keep refining your skills and getting better. You can't just like hit it hard. You got to be adjusting along the way, changing your words, changing, your posture. Yeah.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
I really appreciate that.
Dude, anytime, man. Congrats on being here, bro.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
I can only imagine what it took to get here, so appreciate you being here, man. It means a lot. You're probably going to get the most out of the event because you were one of the guys that had to sacrifice the most. So. Big hug. He was hitting. It's amazing. Dude, I'm so glad you're here.
I know. I love the message in there.
Awesome. We knew it was possible, but it's so cool to see it coming together. I just have a feeling that it's going to be the best version of everybody. Okay, bro. Appreciate it. See you tomorrow, okay? All right, buddy. I'm going to head to bed. What time do doors open?
So the meeting starts at noon.
Okay.
As soon as I move our guys over,
Okay.
then I'll
Right before you move our guys over, can you make sure the music is cranked?
love you, hon.
Love you too.
We got this.
Okay. Good to see you. I feel like I don't want to let your hand go up. I think we should hug. Hey, good to see you. Oh, it's packed in here.
Okay.
When do you see my room, bro?
Okay, brother.
Okay, that'll be your room next year. You and I are the only ones that are arm around each other, Cole.
It's okay. We'll be here the longest.
It's like we're dating. Oh, shit, pals. Wow.
You guys in here?
Dang. That is so good. When you're young, it's better because by the time you're 30, you can be rolling. But 19 is hard because you're young. And all your friends are partying. And none of them want to hear about this. Best advice is make long-term plans here and get into a better market. Talk to people that are older than you. Go recruit a guy like me. A couple guys. You know what I mean? And you will build a huge team.
And how do you overcome the fear of prospecting?
Your desires have to be bigger than your fears, man. What you want has to be stronger than what you fear. Hey guys, can I have your attention for a second? If you guys want to filter in, come on in, guys. Just want to say a few words. I don't really like being up here because I don't feel like I'm above anybody. But it's really the only way that I can see everybody in the room. Trust me, I've tried it every different way every year. How you guys doing? Awesome. I don't want to take a lot of time. There's a lot of things that are going to get said this weekend, but I just want to acknowledge all of you for being here at this event. I know that not everybody's where they want to be in the business, and some of you are probably rolling in here scared, maybe even on your last dime. But I just want to acknowledge you for just taking that chance and trusting the process and being here, especially those of you that are here for the first time. We really appreciate you being here, and we're planning on having a big year. We're planning on having a big year in Calgary, in Saskatoon, in Ontario. We want to help everybody. So, you know what? This is a great time to be on this team. And we are going to get there. We're going to get there. And it's just a matter of time. And this team's going to go 10 times what it is today. And we're going to grow beyond that. And I want everybody, if you have, I dare you tonight just to take a moment, look around. And I just want you to imagine that room being your room. Just have some fun. Just for 1 second, look around and go, man, this is my team. I did that once, my first event, when I had nobody there, and now it's our team. Okay? So tonight's for visualizing, celebrating, hanging out with champions. There's an after party tonight. Really proud of you guys. Let's have an awesome night. Thanks, guys. All right, guys, let's roll out.
Tell them I need a break from the problems. Couple bottles, couple friends, a couple planes, a couple minutes, couple days. It all depends. Still my head is going in circles. There's so much I'm holding it. But tonight I'm going out, ironically I'm going in. Let me let go of my sorrows. Let them sink inside the bottle. Laughing like it's no tomorrow. Straight to music, you can dream it now. We have the chance to do it. You feel the light. Why someone? We try so hard to be someone.
Last day.
Yeah, it's going smooth though.
It is.
It is going pretty smooth.
You know, people need to understand that there's always stress and anxiety around events.
Yeah.
I mean, if people are expecting, this is how you build a fucking empire.
Mm-hmm.
This is how you get big. It's just, the attention to detail at this event has just been unparalleled. Oh, shut the front door! Are you kidding me?
Please help me welcome to the stage, Steve Holbrook!
You can be a super stud or a super studette in this business, if you don't have a world-class partnership starting to develop over time, or you're not working on your relationship, you're not growing together, you will not reach the height that you need to in this business. Does that make sense? Say yes. Yeah. That doesn't mean you need to be perfect right now. It just means that you need to acknowledge that that's the most important part of this big. You don't need a partner to be successful here, by the way. But if you have one, it's got to be a partnership. Yes? Our first core value is practice gratitude. Listen to this. You can't be fearful while you're in a state of gratitude. Everywhere I go, I see people scared for their future. Everywhere I go, I see people scared all the time about everything in their life. But if you operate in the state of gratitude, if you even go there for just half hour a day and you practice gratitude, you remind yourself what you're grateful for. Could be worse. You could be born in Sierra Leone on a dirt floor in an orphanage. And we're here. So yeah, sometimes things get tough, don't they? Yeah. Man, practicing gratitude is going to help you get out of that state. Second is be a lifetime student. The learning is never done for the champions. You know, there's people that miss training to do meetings and just don't show up and all this stuff. Man, I've never missed a meeting in 15 years. You want to know why? Because my ego's not so big where I think I've learned it all. I'm with you guys. I'm at the very beginning. I got a lot to learn. Most of my learning, I gotta say my voice, most of my learning is yet to come. Yes? And I don't have everything figured out. And neither do you. And we have to be dedicated to becoming a lifetime student in our life. The third core value, take 100% responsibility. You know what most of us do when things go wrong? We like to look out the window. We like to look out the window and find somebody to point the finger to. It's my upbringing's fault. It's my mom's fault. It's my ex-husband's fault. It's my kid's fault. Instead of looking out the window, it's time that we start looking in the mirror. Everything starts with taking 100% responsibility for your life. Every time. Not when it's convenient, every time. And that starts with me. And these are things that I continue to work on. You guys like those first three? Yeah. Number 4, live with integrity. Live with integrity. Hey, this is one of those things that I'm working on all the time. But every time I think about integrity, I think about who's watching. Who's watching? My kids are watching. My wife's watching. My family's watching. I'm watching. And my Creator's watching. There's no hiding with integrity. Every time you come with a decision, you get to take 2 paths. You get to do what's right, or you get to do what's fast. Those are the only 2 options. And doing what's right every time is the real shortcut, isn't it? Because who's got time to come back and build this again? I don't have time to go back and build this again. So I want to do everything I can to get better at living with integrity. And our last core value, the dream team, is commitment to excellence. We get one shot at this life. That's it. And Lesha's motto, just don't die. But I'll tell you what, all of us are on the bus of life right now. We're riding on this bus of life, and it's going from stop to stop to stop. Here's the deal. You don't know when that bus is going to stop, and you have to get off. And then it's game over. And there's no more opportunity to commit to excellence. You can't go back and do it again the right way. Commitment to excellence in everything that we do is what's going to be extremely important for us to take our team and our lives to the next level. You guys excited about those? Yeah. Awesome. That's the first thing I want to talk about. Second thing I want to talk about is maxout. Who's excited for maxout? Spending time with a guy like Ed Milet is an identity shifter. You just get within proximity Ed Milet, your life is going to change. And when you get into a small room with Ed Milet and he pours into you for a couple hours and you get mentorship, this is your shot to come out of this convention with immediate action. Because everybody comes out and they're scattered and they're fired up and everybody wants to go home and clean their house first and get their car detailed and organize their files. And by the time everything gets organized, the fire dies down. But the winners take immediate massive action. Maxout 2.0 is your opportunity to take immediate massive action in your business. Thanks, guys. We are getting fired up for today. This is the last day of our event. We're getting all of our agent mobilized for the last day, and we're so excited to share with you all the nuggets of the last day. Look forward to seeing you there. So usually when I prepare a talk for half an hour, I usually plan anywhere from 4 to 5 hours. This is an hour talk, and I've been preparing for this talk. I mean, I've given this talk probably 20, 30 times, but I've probably prepared for this talk probably 300 or 400 hours total to give it on stage for 1 hour, and I'm here prepping again. So preparation is the separation. I'm not the most talented. I've never been the most gifted, but I knew that if I could out-prepare everybody, that would give me an advantage in life. So.
All right, so let's have a big round of applause for Steve Holbrook!
Let's go! I just wanted to get in the game. I just wanted to belong to something. I just wanted to find some real friendships. I never really felt like I fit in my entire life. So there I was. I started my job at Earl's, my only job I'd ever had, and I worked my way through high school part-time at Earl's. First option, I'd been at Earl's now for 9 years. They were grooming me to be a bit of a general manager. I had an option to take over a store, would have been $100,000 a year. I was only 23 years old, probably would have got a store by 24, 25, and that was my dream job. Until I woke up and realized I wanted to be an entrepreneur. The other option that we could have had, the easy path, would have been going into the family business. That would have been the easy route. But something was weighing on my heart. Something was calling me to a higher purpose. And I had no idea what it was. I walked into a Second Cup on Jasper Avenue in Edmonton, Alberta in 2005 in January. And I'm sitting there drinking a coffee and a lady walked in the door. And I remember to this day how the bell sounded when that door opened. And she walked in and she sat down on my table. She was an angel in my life. Her name was Susan Abraham. She sat down and we were talking. She said, "Hey, what kind of a job are you looking for?" I said, "I want to get paid what I'm worth." I said, "I never want to hit a glass ceiling and I need to be in control because I have a major chronic illness." She goes, "You know, there's not a job in this entire city that describes that." I said, "I know." She says, "But off the record, there's this financial thing that you need to go to on Thursday." I'm like, "What is it?" She said, "It's some financial thing." You guys are so worried about saying the wrong thing, right? To the right person, you can't do it. I said, "You know what? It's not for me. I'm not good at math. I took math 33 3 times, and it's not because I liked it." She goes, "Don't worry about it. I've been a client for a couple years or a bit. They changed my scenario. Just come check it out." I said, "All right." You know what's funny? I had a feeling in my heart that this was it. I just had a feeling. So I called up my buddy Winston. I said, "Hey, Winnie." I said, "What do you got going on Thursday you can't get out of?" He's like, "Nothing." So I picked him up. We went to this meeting. I opened the front doors. I didn't know one person in there. There were 60 people. I didn't know what anything was. But I remember how they made me feel when I was there. And I had the same feeling when I walked in there that I did when I walked into Earl's. And I knew that this is where I belong. I knew that this is where I was going to plant my flag. Halfway through the meeting, I leaned over to my buddy Winnie. I go, "Hey, Winnie, if this thing checks out, I'm going to retire with this company." We went to our first Las Vegas convention together, only 6 months in the business. And we sat in the top row, just the two of us. And we heard the convention go by, and Ed Milet closed that convention. And remember what he said? He said, "If you want big results in your life, you need to make big decisions." I don't know a lot of things about a lot of things, but I know one thing for sure. I'm all in. I'm all in. See, I was so scared that this wasn't going to work. I was so scared that I was going to fail when everybody else is playing it safe. When everybody else is playing it cool and tiptoe, and let's see if this is for me, and missing training to do meetings, and on their phone when other people are speaking, and not taking it seriously. This was it for me. This was it. This had to work. I'd seen it before, 20 years prior, in many dreams, me on stage, and this was it, and I decided that this was it. So I went all in. 2008, we started to grow. Got our income up around $240,000 a year, fourth year. We were rocking and rolling. We were on conference calls with Ed Milet. We were rising up. And in 2009 was the year that my whole life was going to change. I believe that man upstairs had to teach me a lesson. I think there were some things that I needed to learn. I had to slow down to speed up. And at a cruise, and just before the cruise, my mom pulled me aside and said, Stephen, you look really sick. Are you sick? I'm like, I'm kind of sick. I never talked about being sick, ever. She goes, can you make this trip? I'm like, yeah, Mom, I can make this trip. I'm good. But I was inside. I was dying inside. We went on this Panama cruise trip. About 2 days in, I ended up in the infirmary. A healthy dose of prednisone steroids is 40 to 50 milligrams a day. They put me on 1,000 milligrams for 2 weeks just to keep me alive, just to keep me going. I still lost 25 pounds in the 2 or 3 weeks that we were away. And we landed on January 4th, and I got rushed into the hospital. And I remember the surgeon walking in and looking me in the eye, the surgeon who I knew really well, the surgeon who was trying to get me to have my lower bowels taken out for many years. But for me, my disease was so prolific that it was going to have to be all of my bowels with no reversal. And to be unmarried and have been in so much pain growing up, I just wanted to avoid that surgery at all costs. And he looked me in the eye and said, Stephen, if you don't have the surgery, you're not going to make it through the month. Man, I totally felt defeated. I felt like I lost. I felt like I was out of control. So 7-hour surgery, some complications, some setbacks. I woke up and I had my rectum taken out, and I begged the surgeon. I said, Dr. Bowie, please leave me half my colon. See, living with half your colon is a way better lifestyle than having no colon. Your colon is what absorbs your water. When you get sick, your colon releases water to keep you hydrated. Your terminal ileum, where you're small and your large meat, it's where you absorb all your vitamins. So when they cut that out, it'd be a way different lifestyle. So I woke up after a 7-hour surgery, and the doctor walked in. He said, hey, the good news is we left half of your colon, but we took your rectum out completely and half your colon. He said, I've been doing this for 25 years, Stephen. He goes, I've never seen a colon like that before. But we started to get our strength back. We started to build. 3 months later, I was getting out of the hospital. And most people want to hide when things get tough. Most people want to stay home. You know where I needed to go? Back to the office. And I sit in my little chair with staples in my staples up this side and staples up the back side. They cut me up both sides to take out what they needed to take out. But I was diagnosed with this disease at 2. And when you have Crohn's disease and you get sick, your whole body shuts down. And it started to get worse. The Crohn's disease came up my stomach and my esophagus. And my wife walked in the front door one day, and I was passed out, not breathing. The ulcers had come out of my mouth on my lips and closed my entire throat off, and I stopped breathing. And she called the ambulance. They opened up my airway. They took me to the hospital. And what I didn't realize is I went in August, and I came out at the end of November. And I have a journal entry that I want to share with you. I've only read it twice before. And I want to share with you the journal entry that I wrote. It was titled Rock Bottom. I wrote this. I said, keep it positive, but the day is dark, very dark. I just want to be alone. I need some time to heal. It's hard having people that love you and care about you. When everybody wants to be close, I just want to be further away. Put on a smile, right? That's what people are telling you. Put on a smile. Well, it's damn hard. This is one of the hardest days. Where's the light? I guess I need to find the tunnel first. August 22nd. September 6th, the same surgeon came back in my room and said, Stephen, you're way sicker than you were the first time. Now we have to take out all of your lower bowels, all 8 feet. So I got knocked out, another 7-hour surgery. And I remember the moment I woke up. I'm lying in that recovery room. My eyes are so heavy, sedated, I couldn't open them. And sure as shit, I felt every cut, every stitch. I could feel where they cut the intestine, every staple. And for the only time in my entire life, I was blood curdle screaming at the top of my lungs, hysterically, and they couldn't get ahead of the pain, so they had to knock me out. And I remember waking up kind of the next day, coming to my girlfriend, future wife, sitting at the side of my bed. I thought, man, I felt like rock bottom. Lying in my bed, shaved head, eyes sunken in, I was down about 70 pounds. And I knew that day that I had to make a decision. I had to make a decision that it couldn't get any worse. So I decided that was rock bottom. And I'm in my hospital bed. There was a mirror beside me in a sink, and I had not looked myself in the eye for at least 4 or 5 weeks. I hated how I looked. I was skinny. I was ugly. I was disgusted with how I looked. But I looked myself in the eye and said, this is rock bottom. This is as bad as it gets. I called in the nurses. I said, bring in the doctors. Take on my pain pump. I said, this pain medication, it's making me weak. It's numbing my wits. It's making me think crazy thoughts. I said, take me off of it immediately. They said, Steve, we can't just take you off cold turkey. You're on high dose around the clock every 8 minutes, like copious amounts of hydromorphine. I said, I don't care. I said, somebody write in my file right now that I have a problem with drugs, even though I didn't. I never want to go back to this place. So they took me off. We got off of it, and we started it worked. We started to get better, and we were on the mend. And we were a week out from coming out of the hospital at the end of October. That New Year's Eve, I told Lissa that I need to have some time with myself because 2010 had to be different. It had to be different. So I drove to the office and I pulled out a new whiteboard and I put 50 squares, 50 lines on my whiteboard for the base shop that I was going to build. And I had 7 or 8 licenses at the time. And I filled them in. I sat there in my chair for a couple hours, and at the top of my board I wrote Steve Holbrook, the comeback kid. And I visualized the comeback. I visualized the arenas. I visualized the teams. I visualized the people. See, everybody struggles with things, but here's the key. The key is you've got to take all the hurt, all the pain, all the struggle that you've had in your life, you got to lean on it. You got to leverage it. You got to point it towards everything that you want. Sometime life knocks you down, yes? Let me tell you, most act like the setback defines them. Most people are rolling around like their setbacks define them. Here's the deal, but really what defines you is how you show up when adversity hits. What do you do when things get tough? You run away? Do you hide? You blame other people? That's not going to work. I want you to hear me on this. It's okay to play scared sometimes. You just have to make sure that you're playing. It's okay to be scared. It's okay to admit that you're not perfect. It's okay to admit that you got work left to be done. It's okay. We're all work in progresses. It's your responsibility to re-fall in love with this opportunity more every single day. Guys, the grass is not greener on the other side. The grass is always greener where you water it. This business is what brings stability to so many of our lives. It brings routine, it brings habit, it brings growth, it brings teamwork, it brings confidence. Where else could Steve Holbrook have gone the last 15 years to live the life that I've lived? To become the best version of myself. What else could I have done that was this predictable, this rewarding, this fulfilling, and this kind of personal growth? There's nothing else I could have done. Nothing that could have got me to this point, both financially, but more importantly, up here. I'm going to challenge you all as we leave here to take immediate, massive action in your business. And that might be get that darn license. That might be get your next promotion or get your first recruit or get some things going on. Don't wait to get organized to hit the ground running. Don't miss training on Tuesday night. Don't pass over phone zone 1 week out of conference. Don't let the old you and the old identity rob you from all the goodies that are there with consistency and effort and desire.